Wow, he's very big! Dinosaur!
It was a bright and cheerful morning in Peppa Town. The birds were chirping their happy songs. Daddy Pig was comfortably settled in his big chair, reading his newspaper, and Mummy Pig was in the kitchen, making delicious pancakes for breakfast. Peppa and George were already sitting at the table, giggling with excitement as they waited for the very first golden pancake to flip out of the pan. It was their favorite part of the morning. Just then, the front door creaked open, and in waddled the tiniest, cutest visitor they had ever seen. "Look, Mummy, look!" Peppa gasped, pointing with a little piggy finger. "It's Baby Evie!" Baby Evie had the rosiest cheeks, a shiny red bow perched perfectly on her head, and the biggest, brightest smile you could possibly imagine. She was holding a little stuffed dinosaur tightly in her hand. "Roar!" said Baby Evie proudly, waving her toy high in the air for everyone to see. George, who was waiting patiently for his pancake, gasped. His eyes went wide. "Dinosaur!" he shouted, so excited that he jumped up and down in his chair. Everyone laughed at his adorable reaction. George loved dinosaurs more than anything in the whole wide world, but today, something truly magical was about to happen that not even George could have ever imagined. After they had all eaten their fill of yummy pancakes, Mummy Pig clapped her hands together to get everyone's attention. "Peppa, George, Baby Evie, get ready! We're going on a very special trip today." Peppa's eyes grew wide with curiosity. "A trip? Where are we going, Mummy? Is it far away?" Daddy Pig looked over the top of his newspaper and gave a little wink. "It's a surprise, Peppa, but I can give you a clue. It's going to be roarsome." George gasped again, his little face lighting up. "Roarsome means dinosaurs." Peppa giggled. "Oh, George, you are so silly. There are no real dinosaurs anymore. Only toys and fossils in the museum." But Baby Evie, listening carefully, shook her head with a very serious expression. "Dinosaurs real! Big ones!" she declared, waving her little toy dinosaur again for emphasis. Mummy Pig smiled a warm, knowing smile. "Well, let's just wait and see what we find today, shall we?" After packing all the essentials, snacks, juice boxes, and of course Evie's favorite soft blanket, they all climbed into the family's trusty red car. Daddy Pig turned the key and the engine rumbled to life. "Is everyone ready for an adventure?" he asked, looking in the rearview mirror. "Yes, Daddy Pig!" shouted Peppa, George, and Baby Evie all together, their voices full of excitement. "Then off we go! To the Dinosaur Safari Park!" "Yippee!" cheered Peppa. "A safari! That sounds so exciting!" Baby Evie clapped her tiny hands together. "Dino! Dino! Dino!" she chanted happily. The red car rolled along winding roads, up and down bumpy hills, through the lovely countryside. Finally, after what felt like a very long time, a big, colorful sign appeared up ahead. It had huge pictures of dinosaurs on it. It read, "Welcome to the Great Dinosaur Safari." As they drove closer, they saw tall palm trees swaying in the breeze, and they could hear jungle sounds playing through hidden speakers. There were even giant statues of dinosaurs standing at the entrance. "Oh my goodness," said Mummy Pig, her eyes wide. "It looks so real." George's eyes sparkled with pure joy. "Maybe we'll see a real T-Rex," he whispered, full of hope. Baby Evie gasped. "Evie ride Dino?" Peppa laughed. "We'll see, Baby Evie. Maybe a little one." At the entrance, they were greeted by the friendly face of Mr. Rabbit, who was wearing a proper safari hat and khaki shorts. "Hello, everyone," he said cheerfully. "Welcome to Dinosaur Safari Park, the best dinosaur park in the world. Would you like a guided tour?" "Yes, please, Mr. Rabbit," said Peppa politely. Mr. Rabbit handed them all safari hats and their very own pairs of binoculars. Even Baby Evie got a tiny little hat that was a bit too big and flopped right over her eyes. "Hee hee," she giggled, pushing it up with her little hand so she could see. Their safari jeep was bright yellow with huge, chunky tires, perfect for an adventure. Mr. Rabbit hopped into the driver's seat, started the engine, and they rumbled down a jungle trail. The path was lined with tall grass and big green plastic ferns that looked just like the real thing. "Look over there," said Mr. Rabbit suddenly, pointing towards a clearing. Everyone gasped in amazement. Standing right beside a sparkling waterfall was a giant moving brachiosaurus. Its long neck stretched all the way up toward the sky, and it was peacefully munching on leaves from a very tall tree. "It's huge," said Peppa, her voice full of awe. George's mouth dropped open. He was completely speechless. "Dinosaur," he finally managed to say. Baby Evie clapped her hands. "Big Dino! Hello!" she shouted happily. Mr. Rabbit chuckled. "That's Bella the Brachiosaurus. She's very friendly. Don't you worry." As if on cue, the giant dinosaur moved its head slowly down towards them and made a soft, low sound. "Roar!" Baby Evie waved her little hand. "Hi, Bella," Peppa giggled. "Evie, I think she likes you." They drove deeper and deeper into the park, past all sorts of amazing dinosaurs. They saw triceratopses with their 3 big horns, stegosauruses with plates on their backs, and even a pack of tiny, quick velociraptors that were chasing butterflies around a field. But then, just as they reached the deepest, most remote part of the trail, the Jeep's engine suddenly sputtered and coughed. It made a funny noise, and then went completely silent. "Oh dear," said Mr. Rabbit, turning the key again and again. "It seems the Jeep is very tired." George frowned. "No move?" he asked. "That's right, George. I'm afraid we'll have to wait here for a little while until help arrives." Peppa looked around. The jungle was very quiet now. A gentle wind rustled through the leaves of the tall trees. Suddenly, Evie's toy dinosaur slipped from her hand and fell to the floor of the Jeep. She carefully climbed down from her seat to pick it up. But as she stood up again, she froze. "Peppa," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "That one moved." Everyone turned to look where she was pointing. Behind a thick patch of trees, something did move. A huge, dark shadow passed by. Then, a loud thud echoed through the quiet forest. Peppa's eyes went wide. Was that a real dinosaur?" she whispered to Mummy Pig. George's voice trembled. "Roar?" he asked, half scared and half excited. Mr. Rabbit laughed a little nervously. "Oh, don't you worry, children. That's probably just, part of the show. A special effect." But Baby Evie didn't look scared at all. Her eyes were shining with wonder and excitement. "Real dinosaur," she whispered to herself, a little smile appearing on her face. "Evie find friend." The leaves on the trees shook again, more violently this time. Another deep thud, closer now, echoed through the forest. Peppa grabbed George's hand and held it tight. "Mummy, I think something's coming!" Mr. Rabbit started trying to start the Jeep again, frantically turning the key, but the engine just wouldn't start. Then, through the mist that was beginning to settle on the trail, a massive, scaly tail swung into view. The whole family gasped. Standing right there in front of them was a real, living dinosaur, a towering, magnificent Tyrannosaurus Rex. Its golden eyes blinked slowly. Its warm breath steamed in the cool air. And then, it looked down, right at Baby Evie. "Roar," said Evie softly, holding up her little toy. The gigantic T-Rex blinked again, and then it lowered its massive head gently until its nose was just a few feet away. "Roar," it replied. But the sound wasn't angry or scary. It was soft, almost like a giant cat purring. Everyone was frozen in complete and utter amazement. "Evie," whispered Peppa, her voice full of wonder. I think it likes you." Baby Evie giggled and waved her hand. "Hello, Big Dino. Thank you for watching this amazing adventure. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fun stories. See you next time." The jungle mist wrapped around the Jeep like a soft white blanket. The air was thick with the sounds of chirping cicadas and the slow drip, drip, drip of water falling from giant leaves. Inside the Jeep, excitement was buzzing. Peppa clutched her binoculars, her eyes scanning the dense greenery. George held his favorite dinosaur toy tight, his knuckles white. And then there was Baby Evie. She wasn't looking for anything in particular. She was just staring out the side of the Jeep with her wide, curious eyes, taking in all the wonders of the jungle. Mr. Rabbit, their tour guide, slowed the vehicle to a crawl. "Everyone stay seated, please," he said in a hushed, serious voice. "We're now entering the Shadow Valley. This is where we keep our larger friends." Daddy Pig let out a nervous chuckle. "Larger friends? You mean like bigger dinosaurs?" Mr. Rabbit nodded slowly, his long ears twitching. "Oh, much bigger." The Jeep bumped and jostled over hidden rocks and thick tree roots snaking across the path. Mummy Pig, ever adventurous, peeked over the edge. "Oh my! It looks like a real prehistoric jungle down there." Suddenly, Baby Evie's little arm shot out, pointing into the trees. "Tail!" she squeaked. Everyone turned to look. A colossal shadow moved silently behind a curtain of leaves. A moment later, a low rumble vibrated through the air, making the very ground shake beneath their feet. "Was that part of the show?" Peppa whispered, a little unsure. Mr. Rabbit blinked, his whiskers twitching nervously. I think so." But the sound came again, louder and closer this time. Thud. 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 And then, emerging from the swirling fog like a mythical beast, stepped a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Its scales shimmered like gold and emerald under the shafts of sunlight breaking through the canopy. Each breath it took billowed out like steam in the cool, damp air. Its enormous, intelligent eye blinked once, then twice, before it focused directly on their little Jeep. George's mouth dropped open, the words catching in his throat. "Dinosaur!" Daddy Pig swallowed hard, trying to sound brave. "Ha! Very impressive animatronic detail. The park has really outdone itself." Mr. Rabbit, however, had gone pale. There's just one problem," he stammered. "We don't have an animatronic that moves like that." The T-Rex took another earth-shaking step closer. Its massive claws, each the size of a kitchen knife, sank deep into the muddy ground. The whole Jeep rattled with the force of its movement. "Stay calm," Mr. Rabbit insisted, his voice trembling as he fumbled with the ignition key. "It's probably harmless, just a very realistic, display." But the key just clicked uselessly. The engine wouldn't turn over. Peppa, her bravery fading, hid behind Daddy Pig's arm. "Is it going to eat us?" she whimpered. Then, something incredible happened, something no one could have ever predicted. The T-Rex lowered its massive head, bringing it down slowly, gently, right in front of the Jeep. Its vast, golden eye fixed on one person, Baby Evie. But Evie didn't flinch. She didn't cry. Instead, she stood up on the seat, balancing with her tiny hands on the safety railing. In a soft, clear voice, she said, "Hello, Evie not scared." The great dinosaur tilted its head, a gesture of pure curiosity. Its enormous nostrils flared as it sniffed the air, taking in the strange new scents. A low sound rumbled deep in its chest. "Rrrr," it growled. But it wasn't a growl of anger. It sounded almost like a giant cat purring. Mummy Pig gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. It's gentle?" Evie, filled with a courage only a child can possess, reached out her small hand. "Friend," she whispered. The T-Rex leaned in even closer. Its huge, leathery snout came near her outstretched hand, and then, with a deep, contented sigh, it brushed against her tiny fingers. Peppa's jaw dropped in disbelief. "Evie, you just touched a real dinosaur!" George squealed with delight. "Real dinosaur! Real!" Mr. Rabbit looked like he could hardly breathe. That's not supposed to happen," he muttered to himself. For a long, magical moment, everything went still. The only sound was the soft, rhythmic rumble of the T-Rex's breathing and the distant calls of jungle birds. Evie smiled, her face lighting up. "Dino's sad," she said suddenly, with a certainty that surprised everyone. "Sad?" Peppa asked, peeking out from behind Daddy Pig. "Why would a huge, scary dinosaur be sad?" Evie just looked into its deep, ancient eyes. "No friends." The dinosaur blinked again, slowly, almost as if it understood every word. Daddy Pig whispered to Mummy Pig, "Could she be right? Could this giant creature just be lonely?" Mr. Rabbit cleared his throat, trying to regain some semblance of control. "Well, perhaps it wandered here from one of the, special containment zones." "Containment zones?" Mummy Pig asked, her eyebrows raised in concern. "Nothing to worry about," Mr. Rabbit said quickly, waving his hand dismissively. "It's just a technical term for, lost dinosaurs. Yes, that's it. Lost dinosaurs." Evie, ignoring the adult's conversation, gently patted the T-Rex's nose again. "Don't be sad. Evie, stay." But just as she said it, the dinosaur's head snapped up. It turned its gaze toward the dense jungle and let out a deep growl. This time it was a sharp, guttural sound, a clear warning. Peppa grabbed George's arm. "Something's coming!" And she was right. Through the tangled trees, several smaller shapes darted forward, sleek, fast, and low to the ground. Their movements were quick and coordinated. "Velociraptors!" Mr. Rabbit yelped, his voice high with panic. The pack of smaller dinosaurs circled the jeep, their sharp yellow eyes glinting with intelligence and hunger. "Everyone stay absolutely still," Daddy Pig commanded, his voice firm despite his fear. But Baby Evie didn't stay still. She climbed back onto the seat, steadying herself. In her hand, she held up her little toy dinosaur, raising it high like a royal scepter. "No fight!" she shouted in her tiny but powerful voice. "Go away!" The velociraptors paused, confused by this strange little human. The giant T-Rex, however, seemed to understand perfectly. It turned its head sharply toward the circling pack. With one earth-shattering, bone-rattling roar, it stepped forward and stomped its massive foot on the ground. "Roar!" The sound echoed through the valley like thunder. The raptors didn't hesitate. They scattered in a blur of reptilian motion, disappearing back into the misty jungle as quickly as they had appeared. Peppa cheered from behind her father. "It protected us!" George jumped up and down on the floor of the jeep. "Big Dino good! Big Dino good!" Evie giggled, reaching out to pat its nose one more time. "Good Dino! Brave Dino!" The T-Rex huffed out a warm breath of air, lowering its head once more. It almost looked proud. As if on cue, the mist began to clear. Warm sunlight streamed through the treetops, illuminating the jungle in brilliant shades of green and gold. With a sputter and a roar of its own, the Jeep's engine finally came to life. Mr. Rabbit wasted no time. "Everyone, back in your seats, quickly! Let's go!" But when they looked back to say goodbye, the T-Rex was gone. It had vanished back into the jungle as silently as it had appeared. All that remained were its huge, three-toed footprints, sinking deep into the mud before disappearing among the trees. Peppa whispered, her voice full of awe. "Do you think we'll ever see it again?" Evie hugged her little toy dinosaur close to her chest. "He come back." "How do you know?" George asked, his eyes wide. Evie just smiled a knowing smile. "Because he my friend." Back at the visitor lodge, the entire park was buzzing with the story. Daddy Pig told everyone who would listen about the incredibly realistic special effects on their tour. Mummy Pig couldn't stop smiling at the memory. And Mr. Rabbit was on his walkie-talkie, urgently calling for complete and immediate maintenance on track 4. But Peppa and George knew the truth. They knew it wasn't special effects. Later that evening, as the sun set over the valley, a gentle wind blew through the trees. It carried the faint, distant sound of a gentle roar, echoing from the mountains. Baby Evie, sipping her juice box, looked up from her cup and waved toward the horizon. "Good night, Big Dino," she whispered to the wind. Evie, see you soon. Thank you for watching this incredible adventure with us. The next morning, Peppa, George, and Baby Evie woke up early at the safari park's guest lodge. Sunlight spilled through the window, and birds sang outside. Peppa stretched with a big smile. "What a day we had yesterday," she said. "We saw real dinosaurs." George sat up, holding his dino toy. "Big Dino saved us," he said proudly. Evie rubbed her eyes, still clutching her stuffed dinosaur. "He come back," she murmured. Mummy Pig poked her head into the room. "Good morning, little explorers. Breakfast is ready." At the breakfast table, Daddy Pig munched toast while reading a map of the park. "Today," he said, tapping the paper, "we'll visit the Jungle Walk Trail. It's safe, easy, and full of fossils." Peppa's eyes gleamed. "Can we find bones?" "Maybe," said Mummy Pig, "but remember, no wandering off." Evie nodded quietly, though her eyes were already drifting toward the window. The forest beyond swayed in the breeze, whispering softly. Somewhere out there, her dinosaur friend was waiting. After breakfast, they met Mr. Rabbit again near the trail. "Good morning, Pig family. Ready for more adventure?" he asked cheerfully. "Yes!" shouted Peppa and George. Evie pointed toward the jungle. "Big Dino there!" Mr. Rabbit chuckled nervously. "Ha! Yes, we have lots of pretend dinosaurs in there. Nothing to worry about." But when they entered the forest, the air felt different. Warmer, alive. Ferns brushed against their legs. Strange bird calls echoed. Evie's tiny hand reached out, brushing a leaf. She stopped suddenly. "Peppa, look." On the ground, half buried under moss, was something round and pale green. "What is it?" Peppa asked. Evie knelt beside it, brushing away dirt. It wasn't a rock. It was smooth, almost glowing faintly. George gasped. "Dinosaur egg!" Mr. Rabbit blinked. "Oh dear, that shouldn't be here." Daddy Pig leaned closer. "It looks real," Evie whispered softly. "Egg lost. Baby inside." The egg pulsed once, softly like a heartbeat. Peppa and George jumped back. "Did it just move?" Peppa cried. Mr. Rabbit stammered. "That's probably just heat expansion." Evie didn't move. She laid both hands gently on the egg. "Don't be scared," she whispered. "Evie, help." The glow steadied under her touch. Everyone stared. Even Daddy Pig forgot to speak. Mummy Pig crouched down beside her. "Evie, darling, maybe we should give that to the park staff so they can keep it safe." Evie shook her head. "No staff. Egg want home." "Home?" Peppa asked. "Where's home?" Evie pointed into the thick jungle. "There." Mr. Rabbit frowned. "That's off limits. That area's not on the map anymore. It was closed after a power problem." George whispered, "Maybe where Big Dino live." Everyone went quiet. Evie hugged the egg close. "He need this." Daddy Pig looked uncertain. "Maybe we should, consult management first?" But just then, a distant roar rolled through the valley. It was deep and familiar. Evie's face lit up. "He call me." Before anyone could stop her, she toddled down the trail, clutching the glowing egg. "Evie, wait!" Peppa cried, running after her. "Come back!" shouted Mummy Pig. Mr. Rabbit grabbed his radio. "Emergency! We've got a code! Oh, what number was it again? Oh, bother!" The jungle thickened fast. Vines hung low and strange calls echoed in the distance. Peppa and George hurried after Evie's small figure, who was moving surprisingly fast for such tiny legs. Finally, they reached a clearing and stopped. In the center of the clearing was a nest made of branches, ferns, and giant leaves. And lying beside it was a huge shadow, breathing slowly. Peppa froze. "Evie, that's your friend." Evie nodded. "He waiting." The dinosaur's head tilted as she approached. She held up the egg carefully. "Lost?" she said softly. "Evie find." The T-Rex made a low, rumbling sound that filled the air, something between a growl and a sigh. It lowered its snout to the nest, and Evie gently rolled the egg inside. A warmth spread through the clearing. The jungle seemed to exhale in relief. Peppa whispered, "It's his egg." George smiled. "Baby dino coming?" The T-Rex blinked at Evie. Then, in a slow, careful motion, it nudged her gently with its nose, like a thank you. Evie giggled. Big dino, happy now. But suddenly the ground trembled again, this time sharper, stronger. From the far side of the clearing, another roar echoed, a screeching, angry sound. Mr. Rabbit burst through the bushes, panting. Oh dear, this isn't good! That's not our T-Rex, that's the rogue one!" A dark shape crashed through the trees, a larger dinosaur, scarred and wild-eyed, with jagged scales and torn claws. It let out a furious roar, shaking the leaves. The gentle T-Rex stepped protectively in front of the nest, roaring back. Evie stumbled backward, holding Peppa's hand. "Two T-Rexes!" George squeaked. Mr. Rabbit yelled, "Everyone, get behind me! This is going to get very noisy!" The two dinosaurs circled each other, growling. Evie's eyes filled with tears. "No fight," she whispered. "No hurt, baby." But the wild T-Rex lunged forward, and the gentle one met it head-on, the jungle exploding with sound. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing adventures. The jungle trembled as two colossal dinosaurs roared, their voices like thunder shaking the very trees. Peppa clung tightly to Mummy Pig's arm, while little George sought refuge behind Daddy Pig. Mr. Rabbit, ever the professional, crouched low, his safari hat clutched in both hands. But one small figure stood her ground. Baby Evie wasn't crying. She stood between Peppa and a mysterious, glowing nest, her eyes wide with wonder, clutching her stuffed dinosaur tightly. "Big Dino, protect baby," she whispered with unwavering conviction. And she was right. The gentle T-Rex, the one who had befriended Evie earlier, stood tall and firm before the nest. Its golden eyes blazed with a fierce courage. Its opponent, a wilder T-Rex, snarled, foam dripping from its massive jaws. Its skin was darker, crisscrossed with the scars of ancient battles. It stomped forward, its roar so powerful the very ground quaked beneath their feet. "Mr. Rabbit!" Daddy Pig shouted over the din. "We need to do something!" "I'm open to ideas!" Mr. Rabbit yelled back, fumbling with his walkie-talkie. "Headquarters, come in! We've got two real-life dinosaurs in combat mode!" But only static crackled in reply. There was no help coming. Mummy Pig grabbed Peppa's hand. "We need to move, quietly," she urged. But Peppa pointed a trembling finger toward Evie. "We can't leave her." Evie hadn't moved. She was still standing bravely near the nest. The egg inside glowed with a soft, warm light, its pulse quickening as if it could sense the imminent danger. "Evie, come here!" Mummy Pig called out, her voice filled with worry. Evie simply shook her head. "You need me." Then the two giants lunged. Crash! Their massive heads collided with a sickening thud. Claws sliced through the air, and a whirlwind of dust and leaves obscured the view. The gentle T-Rex roared in fury, pushing the wild one back with a heavy, earth-shaking shove. The ground trembled like a drumbeat. "Roar!" Peppa gasped in awe. "He's protecting the egg!" The wild T-Rex spun around, its powerful tail whipping through the ferns like a giant whip. Daddy Pig ducked just in time as it whooshed past his head. "Let's back up a bit!" he shouted, pulling everyone toward the relative safety of a fallen tree. Mr. Rabbit peeked cautiously over the log. "This is... oh dear! Definitely not in the safety brochure!" The battle raged on. The gentle T-Rex bit down hard on the other's shoulder. The wild one shrieked in pain and lashed out, slamming its body against a giant tree trunk that cracked like a lightning strike. Evie squeezed her toy dinosaur, her small voice cutting through the chaos. "No hurt! No hurt!" For a breathtaking moment, both dinosaurs froze, their massive heads turning to stare at the tiny figure. The gentle T-Rex blinked, its fierce expression softening as if it recognized her voice. Summoning all her courage, Evie took a step forward, trembling but brave. "No fight," she said firmly. "Baby coming." As if on cue, the glowing egg pulsed brighter, bathing the entire clearing in a warm golden light. Peppa whispered, "It's hatching." The wild T-Rex stopped mid-snarl, its aggressive posture faltering, seemingly confused by the magical glow. The gentle T-Rex used the opportunity to back toward the nest, shielding it with its massive body. And then it happened. Crick. Crack. Everyone held their breath. With a final pop, the shell split open, and a tiny, perfect snout peeked out. It was a baby dinosaur, small, green, and blinking up at the sunlight for the very first time. "Oh!" Peppa gasped. "It's so cute!" George squealed with pure joy. "Baby dino!" The newborn let out a soft, bird-like chirp. Evie knelt beside the nest, her face full of wonder. "Hello, baby." The gentle T-Rex leaned down, carefully sniffing its newborn. A soft, warm rumble vibrated from its chest, a sound of pure love and protection. But the moment of peace was shattered. The wild T-Rex roared again, its eyes burning with jealousy and confusion. It stomped closer, a new threat looming over the tender scene. Peppa shouted, "No, don't hurt them!" The wild T-Rex reared back its head for a final devastating attack. But the gentle T-Rex was faster. It lunged, blocking the attack with its own body. The impact sent shockwaves through the jungle. Both giants tumbled, locked in combat, into the river that wound behind the clearing. Water exploded into the air, and everyone screamed. "Daddy Pig! They fell in!" Peppa cried. "Stay back!" Daddy Pig warned, holding everyone at a safe distance. "That river's too strong!" Through the mist and spray, they could see the two dinosaurs wrestling, roaring and splashing in the churning white foam. Evie pressed her palms together, her small voice a desperate plea. "Big Dino, please be okay." The baby dinosaur chirped again, its soft call cutting through the noise of the fight. The gentle T-Rex heard it. With one final, monumental heave, it shoved the wild one away into the deeper part of the river. The powerful current took hold, sweeping the dark dinosaur downstream until it disappeared into the dense jungle beyond. Exhausted but victorious, the gentle T-Rex dragged itself out of the water, trembling but alive. Peppa, George, and the others rushed to the edge of the clearing. "He did it!" shouted George. "He saved the baby!" Evie's face glowed with relief. "Good Dino! Brave Dino!" The T-Rex lowered its massive head toward her once more, breathing softly. She reached up and gently touched its snout. "Thank you." For a moment, time stood still. The jungle was quiet. The sunlight was golden, and the air hummed with a newfound peace. Then, the gentle T-Rex turned back to its baby. It nudged the tiny dinosaur closer with its nose. The baby squeaked happily and nuzzled against its parent's face. Mummy Pig smiled, her eyes glistening. "That's the sweetest thing I've ever seen." Even Mr. Rabbit wiped a tear from his eye. "It's moments like these that make me question everything I know about science." Evie hugged her toy dinosaur. "Family together." Peppa smiled at her. "You helped them, Evie. You're the real explorer." The gentle T-Rex gave one last low rumble of gratitude before turning toward the jungle. The baby followed, stumbling adorably over its little legs. "Goodbye," Peppa waved. "We'll never forget you." "Bye-bye," George shouted. Evie waved both hands, her little bow bobbing in the wind. "See you soon, Big Dino." The T-Rex paused at the edge of the forest and looked back one last time, a silent acknowledgement, before disappearing into the green shadows. The jungle was calm again. The birds returned to their perches, and sunlight shimmered through the leaves. Mr. Rabbit let out a long sigh of relief. "Well, I think we can all agree this was quite an educational experience." Daddy Pig chuckled weakly. "Let's never do that kind of field trip again." Mummy Pig smiled. "Come along, explorers. Time for lunch." As they walked back toward the park lodge, Evie looked over her shoulder one more time. Somewhere, far off in the distance, a gentle roar echoed. A soft thank you carried on the wind. Evie smiled. He's safe now. The sun was dipping low behind the cliffs as our little safari jeep rolled down a winding trail. The engine hummed softly, echoing off the mossy stone walls. My friends Peppa, George, and Baby Evie leaned over the sides, their eyes wide with excitement. "Mr. Rabbit, where are we going?" Peppa asked, her cute little hat tilting forward. Mr. Rabbit, our guide, just smiled mysteriously. "Somewhere special, explorers, a place few have ever seen, the Secret Valley." "Secret?" George gasped. "Is it scary?" "Not scary," Evie whispered from her seat, clutching her tiny dinosaur plush toy. "Magic." Daddy Pig chuckled from the front. "Well, if it's secret and magical, we'd better keep our eyes open." The path grew narrower, and tall green ferns brushed against the sides of our jeep. Birds called to us from hidden perches, and somewhere in the distance we heard a low, rumbling roar. Soon we reached a massive rock wall covered in thick, tangled vines. It looked like a dead end, but Evie frowned. "There's a door," she said softly. Mr. Rabbit blinked in confusion. "A door? I don't see—" But Evie was already reaching out, pressing her little hand against the vines. A faint shimmer rippled through the air, and suddenly the entire wall began to glow. "Goodness me!" Mummy Pig exclaimed. The vines peeled back just like curtains, revealing a hidden stone arch carved with ancient spirals and dinosaurs. Inside was a tunnel that shimmered like a starry night sky. Evie smiled shyly. "The egg told me." Everyone looked at her in surprise. George held up a small, cracked egg we had found earlier on our adventure. "This one?" Evie nodded. "It remembers." Daddy Pig scratched his head. "Well, I suppose that means we must go in." Our jeep rolled slowly through the glowing tunnel. And when we came out the other side, everyone gasped. Before us stretched a huge, hidden valley bathed in golden light. Waterfalls tumbled from high cliffs, rainbows arched through the fine mist, and trees as tall as buildings swayed in a warm breeze. And everywhere there were dinosaurs. Not animatronics, not statues. Real, living, breathing dinosaurs. A whole herd of triceratopses waded through a sparkling lake. Pteranodons with giant wings glided silently overhead, and a huge brachiosaurus lowered its long, graceful neck to drink from a stream nearby. "Wow," Peppa whispered, her voice full of awe. "They're real! Really real!" George squealed with pure delight. "Dinosaur! Dinosaur!" Evie just giggled and waved. The dinosaurs didn't seem afraid of us at all. They turned their heads toward our jeep calmly, their eyes soft and curious, as if they remembered us. Mr. Rabbit's whiskers were trembling with excitement. "I've worked at this park for 10 years, and I've never seen this place. This is absolutely incredible." Mummy Pig pointed toward the center of the valley, where a tall crystal pillar shimmered with a beautiful blue light. Around it stood nests of every shape and size, each filled with eggs that were glowing faintly like little lanterns. "It's the heart of the valley," Evie whispered. "How do you know that?" Peppa asked her little sister again. Evie looked down at the little cracked egg in her hands. The glow from the crystal reflected in its shell, and for a moment, we all heard a faint humming sound, like a gentle lullaby being carried on the wind. "The dinosaurs protect it," Evie said softly. "It keeps them safe and hidden." George's eyes went wide. "Hidden from what?" Evie frowned, looking toward the far horizon. "From people who forget to be kind." Just then, a sudden gust of wind swept through the valley, making the trees stir. Thousands of leaves danced like tiny emeralds in the air. Then came a sound, deep and powerful. Thump, thump, thump. "What's that?" Peppa whispered, holding onto my arm. The ground began to shake as a huge shadow moved between the cliffs. A massive dinosaur stepped into the clearing, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Its golden eyes gleamed in the sunlight, but it didn't roar. Instead, it bowed its head slightly toward Evie. Mr. Rabbit was completely frozen. That's the guardian of the valley." But Evie didn't look scared at all. She walked a few steps forward, holding out the cracked egg. The giant T-Rex leaned closer, its warm breath rumbling like distant thunder. Then, as gently as it could, it nudged the tiny egg with the tip of its enormous snout. Instantly, the glow around the egg brightened, with soft blue and pink light swirling around it like magic. The shell started to mend itself, the cracks disappearing until it was whole again. Then, we heard a faint chirp, and the egg began to move. "It's hatching!" Peppa gasped. The shell split open, and a tiny dinosaur peeked out. It was a baby triceratops, so small it could fit in both of Evie's hands. It blinked and squeaked softly, nuzzling her fingers. "Ah," said Mummy Pig. "It's adorable." Evie smiled, her face filled with happiness. "Welcome home." The guardian T-Rex let out a gentle rumble, not a roar, but a sound of peace. All around us, the other dinosaurs lifted their heads and echoed the sound, filling the valley with a beautiful harmony. Mr. Rabbit wiped a tear from his eye. "I think we've just witnessed a miracle." Daddy Pig nodded. "A very big one, and a very small one, too." Peppa giggled. "Best safari ever!" George held up his own toy dinosaur. "Dinosaur!" Everyone laughed, and even the baby triceratops gave a happy little squeak. As the sun set behind the cliffs, a warm golden light wrapped around the family and their new little friend. Evie looked up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, dinosaurs." The guardian's eyes glowed one last time before it turned and disappeared back into the forest, leaving us standing in the warm glow of the secret valley, a place that would forever remain in our hearts. Thanks for joining us on this magical adventure. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time. The secret valley glowed softly as twilight settled over the cliffs. Fireflies drifted between fern leaves, and the air shimmered with warmth and quiet songs from the jungle. Peppa, George, and Baby Evie sat near the lake with Mummy and Daddy Pig, while Mr. Rabbit built a small campfire. "Careful, Mr. Rabbit," Daddy Pig said. "You don't want to toast your tail." Mr. Rabbit laughed. "Don't worry, Daddy Pig. I've done this hundreds of times." "Probably." Everyone giggled. Beside them, the little baby triceratops, whom Evie had named Tilly, chewed gently on a fern leaf, blinking her bright golden eyes. Every now and then she'd squeak and Evie would giggle back as if they were sharing a secret. As the stars appeared, Peppa stretched out on her blanket. "I can see the big spoon constellation," she said proudly. Daddy Pig looked up. "That's actually the Big Dipper, Peppa." "Oh," Peppa giggled. "Then I must be hungry, because it looks like a spoon to me." Even the dinosaurs nearby made deep rumbling sounds that almost sounded like laughter. George pointed up. "Star, fall!" A streak of light zipped across the sky, then another and another. Soon the whole night was alive with shooting stars, tracing golden arcs over the valley. "It's a meteor shower," Mr. Rabbit said excitedly. "Lucky us. It only happens once every 100 years. Evie's eyes widened. "The dinosaurs remember this night," she whispered. A low humming began to echo across the cliffs, not mechanical, not from the Jeep, but something natural and ancient. The larger dinosaurs lifted their heads. The T-Rex guardian appeared again, standing at the far edge of the valley, its eyes reflecting the starlight. "It's singing," Mummy Pig whispered. Evie stood and stepped closer to the glowing heart crystal in the center of the valley. Its light pulsed with each note like it was breathing. Tilly followed her, her tail wagging softly. "The stars wake the valley," Evie said quietly. "They remember when the dinosaurs came here to be safe." Peppa tilted her head. "Safe from what?" Evie didn't answer. Instead, she pressed her hand to the crystal. A soft glow spread across the ground, like ripples in water, and suddenly, they could see. Images shimmered across the valley floor, huge comets flashing through space, forests burning, then peace returning as the valley hid deep beneath the earth. George gasped. "Dinosaur home," Evie nodded. "The valley kept them hidden, waiting for friends who would be kind. Mummy Pig's eyes softened. And maybe that's us. The light dimmed, and the valley grew calm again. The meteor shower continued, quiet now, gentle streaks of gold and blue across the night. Tilly yawned and curled up beside Evie. Peppa and George snuggled under their blanket. "Evie," Peppa murmured sleepily, "do you think the dinosaurs ever want to come out?" Evie looked at Tilly's tiny horns glowing in the firelight. "Maybe one day," she said, "when the world remembers how to listen." Mr. Rabbit poked the fire, smiling softly. "Well, if anyone can remind the world, it's you lot." Daddy Pig chuckled. "Tomorrow we'll need to find our way home before Mummy Rabbit starts wondering where we've gone." Everyone laughed sleepily, and the sound echoed warmly in the night. Just before midnight, the heart crystal pulsed once more, brighter than before. A single beam of light rose from it, touching the sky like a beacon. One of the shooting stars curved downward and landed gently at Evie's feet. It wasn't a rock, but a glowing silver feather. "What's that?" Peppa whispered. Evie picked it up carefully. "A gift," she said. "For remembering." The T-Rex guardian lifted its head, releasing one final deep rumble that sounded almost like words, ancient, slow, and kind. Then it turned and disappeared back into the shadows of the forest. The light faded. The valley rested again. By morning, the fire had gone out and birds sang softly from the trees. The Jeep sparkled with dew, ready for the road. Evie still held the silver feather. "We'll come back, right?" she asked as they packed their things. "Of course," Peppa said. "Next time we'll bring extra pancakes." George held Tilly gently as Mr. Rabbit smiled. "I think the dinosaurs will be waiting." The valley shimmered behind them as they drove away, almost as if it were waving goodbye. And far above, another star fell across the brightening sky, tracing one final promise. The secret valley will always remember those who believed. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe for more amazing adventures. The morning sun sparkled over the hills as Peppa, George, and Baby Evie packed the Jeep for the journey back from the secret valley. Birds chirped happily and tall ferns swayed in the soft, warm breeze. "Do we really have to leave this magical place?" Peppa asked, hugging her cozy blanket tightly. Evie, so small but so brave, held the shiny silver feather from the heart crystal in her tiny hand. "We come back," she promised softly. "Dino's safe now." Daddy Pig adjusted his glasses, a thoughtful look on his face. "Well, adventures are absolutely lovely, but someone has to make sure Mummy Pig doesn't worry too much back home." Mummy Pig smiled, her eyes twinkling. "And someone has to finish packing the picnic basket for our lunch later." Mr. Rabbit, ever the careful driver, gave the Jeep one last check. "Everything is ready for our journey. Let's carefully retrace our steps all the way back to the safari park gates." The trail leading out of the secret valley was quiet and enchanting. Golden sunlight streamed through the leaves of the giant trees, casting beautiful dancing patterns on the ground. Every so often, a small, curious dinosaur would peek out from behind a tree, its wide eyes watching the little humans as they drove by. George leaned out the window, his voice full of excitement. "Bye-bye, baby dinos," he shouted with a happy wave. Tilly, the baby triceratops, let out a little squeak in reply, hopping around with joy as if she were waving back too. Evie smiled, a warm, gentle smile that reached her eyes. "We helped them. They happy." Peppa looked all around, noticing how wonderfully peaceful and calm the valley felt compared to the loud noises and bustling crowds of the main park. "I think this is the most magical place we've ever been," she said, her voice filled with wonder. Daddy Pig nodded in agreement. "And we've all learned a very important lesson today. Always be kind and brave, just like our little Evie." As their trusty Jeep finally reached the park entrance, something completely unexpected caught everyone's eyes. The big animatronic dinosaurs that lined the park gate, the ones that were just robots, had moved slightly overnight. A gentle rumble vibrated through the ground beneath them. Mr. Rabbit gasped, his whiskers twitching with surprise. "That's impossible!" They were all checked and switched off yesterday. Peppa's eyes widened with amazement. Are they real? Suddenly, a familiar, magnificent golden T-Rex appeared from behind the gates, hidden among the tall trees. It was the Guardian, the very same one from the valley. It had followed them. Its massive, intelligent eyes glimmered warmly as it let out a low, gentle rumble, not scary at all. Evie's tiny hand flew up in the air. "Big Dino!" she squealed with delight. The enormous T-Rex nudged the Jeep softly with its snout, as if it was saying, "Thank you for helping us. Thank you for saving our home." George jumped up and down in his seat. "It's happy. The big dinosaur is happy," Daddy Pig whispered, completely stunned. "I don't think this is an animatronic after all." Mummy Pig laughed, her heart full of joy. "Well, it looks like our incredible adventure isn't quite over yet." The family parked the Jeep and carefully stepped out. Evie held Tilly, the baby Triceratops, in her arms, showing Peppa and George the little dinosaur she had rescued. All the animals around them seemed calmer, almost as if they could sense the harmony and friendship the children had brought to the park. Peppa giggled, unable to contain her excitement. "I never ever thought we'd meet real dinosaurs today." George nodded, hugging his own toy dinosaur tightly. "Evie saved them all." Evie looked up at the giant Guardian T-Rex, her eyes sparkling like little stars. "We friends now," she whispered, her voice full of love. The T-Rex gave one last low rumble of agreement, then turned and retreated back into the dense trees near the valley entrance, disappearing from sight. Mr. Rabbit shook his head slowly, a look of pure wonder on his face. "I think we just witnessed a real-life miracle. This will have to be the park's best-kept secret for many, many years to come." By late afternoon, it was finally time to return to Peppa Town. The Jeep bounced along the winding trail, heading back to familiar roads, carrying 3 very sleepy children and their magical, secret memories. Evie rested her head on Mummy Pig's lap, with Tilly, the baby Triceratops, snuggled close against her. Peppa and George chattered quietly in the back seat about their favorite moments: the glowing egg, the friendly Guardian T-Rex, and the sparkling, hidden secret valley. Daddy Pig smiled as he watched them in the rearview mirror. "Well, my brave explorers, I think we can officially say, this was the most amazing, most incredible safari ever." Evie blinked her tired eyes slowly, holding the precious silver feather tightly in her hand. "Adventure not over," she whispered softly, almost to herself. Peppa laughed. "Don't worry, Evie. Tomorrow is a whole new day for another adventure." George yawned a big yawn. "Dinosaur, friend." As the Jeep rolled into Peppa Town, the sun began to set behind the rolling green hills, painting the entire sky in beautiful shades of orange and pink. Somewhere far, far away, the secret valley shimmered in the last golden light of the day. Evie pressed the silver feather to her chest, feeling its warmth. "We come back soon, I promise." Peppa smiled at her little sister. "And we'll be sure to bring more snacks for the dinosaurs next time." George held up Tilly, who squeaked happily. "Yay! Dino friends!" Even Mr. Rabbit, who was usually so flustered and nervous, smiled a warm, knowing smile. "I have a feeling this won't be the last time these little explorers bring magic and friendship to the dinosaurs in world." The Jeep drove on, carrying laughter, tiny feet, and the beautiful memories of a secret place where kindness and courage could make even the largest, most fearsome creatures gentle and kind. And high above, the first stars of the night began to twinkle in the sky, a sparkling reminder that the secret valley and its magical dinosaur inhabitants would always be waiting for those who believed. Thank you for watching with us. Don't forget to follow for more amazing adventures.